When they depend on you for their fulfillment, you control them. The third principle, scarcity and withdrawal. Never be too available. Never be too eager. What is common loses value. What is scarce becomes priceless. In personal relationships, this means you must resist the urge to overshare, overcommit, or overgive. Give just enough to hook, then withdraw. In business, this means you must make your presence, your skill, or your resource appear limited. People fight for what they believe they might lose. They devalue what they believe they already own. Scarcity builds demand. Demand builds power. The fourth principle, plant seeds. Never force conclusions. When you argue directly, you create resistance. When you impose openly, you provoke defiance. But when you plant an idea like a seed and allow the other person to water it themselves, they will believe it was theirs all along. That is true influence. Making others feel ownership of the path you set for them. Use questions instead of commands. Use hints instead of orders. Guide their thoughts subtly, and they will walk willingly into the position you designed for them. The fifth principle, exploit consistency. Human beings hate to appear inconsistent. Once someone commits to a belief, a label, or a course of action, they will twist reality to justify it. If you can get someone to make a small commitment, an agreement, a declaration, even a minor gesture, they will feel pressure to stay consistent with it. Use this to your advantage. Lead them step by step until they are trapped by their own need to appear steady. They won't realize they're following your design until it's too late. Now, let's talk about the ethics of this. Some will call it manipulation. Some will call it leadership. Labels are irrelevant. The only truth is this. Either you shape reality or reality shapes you. Either you bend people or you are bent. Do not mistake kindness for strategy. You can still treat people with fairness. You can still show loyalty. But when betrayal has burned you once, you no longer have the luxury of blind trust. You must see the game for what it is, and you must play to win. Influence also demands mastery of self-image. What people believe about you shapes how they respond to you. If they perceive you as weak, they will test you. If they perceive you as desperate, they will exploit you. If they perceive you as powerful, scarce, and mysterious, they will adjust themselves to accommodate you. Control your image ruthlessly. Control how you are seen in every environment. Machiavelli warned rulers to appear merciful, faithful, humane, and religious, even if they are not, because appearance is more powerful than reality. The same applies to you. You do not need to reveal your true self to everyone. You need only reveal the version of yourself that secures advantage. Another crucial point, emotional detachment. The manipulator who becomes too invested in outcomes loses control. Influence requires calm observation. You must be able to watch people betray themselves through their words, their movements, their expressions without reacting. They will tell you their weaknesses if you stay quiet long enough. They will reveal their desires if you let them talk. Your job is not to dominate every conversation, but to extract information while giving away nothing. The less they know about you, the more they project, and the more they project, the more control you have over them. Finally, the highest form of influence. Become the standard others measure themselves against. When you live with such clarity, such discipline, such command, others will compare themselves to you without you saying a word. They will envy you, they will admire you, they will resent you, but above all, they will follow you. This is influence without effort, manipulation without words. This is presence as power. Remember this, manipulation is not about tricks, it is about psychology. It is about understanding the primal drives of humans and positioning yourself as the gravity that pulls those drives into orbit around you. The betrayed man who rebuilds himself as a manipulator is not cruel, he is unassailable. He no longer needs to scream for loyalty. He no longer needs to beg for love. He commands both, simply because he understands what others cannot admit. Humans are predictable, programmable, and pliable. This is the art of manipulation and influence. Use it with precision, with patience, and with calculation. And when those who betrayed you once look into your eyes again, they will not see the same man. They will see a strategist cloaked in silence, a presence they cannot shake, a force they cannot resist. If you truly understand this, comment below. I bend reality. The fortress mindset, becoming untouchable internally. Power without a fortress is fragile. Influence without a fortress is fleeting. Fear without a fortress is hollow. Betrayal broke you because your foundation was exposed. Your emotions were vulnerable. Your sense of worth depended on others. Your stability relied on external validation. That is why their actions shook you. But if you construct yourself into a fortress, no storm, no enemy, no betrayal can break through. The fortress mindset is the ultimate defense and the ultimate offense. It is psychological sovereignty. It is building yourself into something no one can invade, manipulate, or dismantle. This is how you become untouchable. First, understand this. A fortress is not built on walls of arrogance, but on pillars of discipline. Arrogance is brittle. Discipline is iron. Every day, you must fortify yourself through relentless routines. Train your body because physical strength communicates psychological strength to yourself and to others. But do not train only for vanity. Train for resilience. Push yourself beyond comfort because the man who conquers his body conquers his mind. While others collapse under fatigue, you will remain standing. While others fear pain, you will embrace it. Pain becomes your ally. Pain becomes your test. And every time you endure it, the walls of your fortress rise higher. Second, you must master solitude. Weak men run from silence because in silence their demons speak. They distract themselves with noise, validation, endless social contact, anything to avoid facing their own reflection. But you must embrace solitude until it no longer feels like prison, but like sanctuary. Solitude is where you sharpen your thoughts. Solitude is where you separate the illusions of others from the truth of yourself. Solitude is where you strip away the unnecessary and focus on what matters. A man who is comfortable in solitude is unshakable because he cannot be controlled through loneliness. He is whole within himself. He does not need the crowd needs him. Third, build an unbreakable code. A fortress without principles is just stone waiting to crumble. Your code must be ruthless in its clarity. Who you are, what you allow, what you reject. Betrayal hurt you before because you had no clear boundaries. Others crossed lines and you tolerated it. That ends now. Your code is your law. It dictates how you live, how you deal with others, how you react to adversity. And once you establish it, you never break it. People may bend, the world may shift, but your code is carved into you like stone. Men who betray their own code betray themselves. Men who honor their code become immovable. Fourth, emotional control. This is the cornerstone of the fortress mindset. If others can provoke you, they can control you. If others can anger you, they can predict you. If others can shame you, they can weaken you. You must become the master of your emotions, not their slave. This does not mean you feel nothing. It means you dictate the timing, the expression, the outlet. Anger becomes fuel, not fire. Pain becomes instruction, not torment. Even joy becomes controlled, so that you are never dependent on external highs. When you control your emotions, you become unpredictable, and unpredictability is power. Fifth, cultivate cold detachment. This does not mean apathy. It means perspective. It means stepping outside your immediate feelings and analyzing the battlefield like a strategist. When someone betrays you, you don't react with desperation. You observe, you dissect, you catalog, you adjust. When life humiliates you, you don't drown. You study the humiliation, extract its lessons, and convert it into steel. Detachment gives you freedom. Detachment allows you to act while others are paralyzed. Detachment makes you unshakable because your identity no longer depends on external outcomes. You are the fortress. The storm can rage, but you stand. Sixth, knowledge. The fortress mindset is built on relentless learning. Study history because history is humanity on repeat. Study philosophy because philosophy is the language of power. Study psychology because psychology reveals how people move, think, and break. The man who knows more controls more. Information is armor. Wisdom is artillery. Knowledge sharpens your strategy, refines your influence, and strengthens your fortress from within. Machiavelli himself wrote not for the masses, but for rulers who understood that ignorance is death and knowledge is rule. Become that ruler over your own mind. Seventh, control of environment. A fortress is not just internal, it is external. Who you surround yourself with, what you consume, where you spend your energy, these either fortify you or weaken you. Cut away the parasites. Remove the ones who drain but never give. Silence the voices that weaken your resolve. Replace them with allies who sharpen you, with books that fuel you, with environments that discipline you. Every man's mind is influenced by his environment. Build your environment like a fortress, and your mind will follow. Finally, legacy. A fortress is not built for today alone. It is built for decades, for centuries, for permanence. Your mindset must stretch beyond immediate gratification. Weak men chase pleasures. Strong men build futures. Your every action, every decision, every discipline must serve not just survival, but legacy. What you build in yourself becomes the standard for those who come after you. Your fortress mindset is not selfish. It is generational. It is the foundation of influence, the blueprint of power, the echo of your existence long after your enemies are forgotten. Now listen closely. When you become a fortress, betrayal no longer breaks you. It tests you. It sharpens you. It shows you where the walls must be reinforced. Betrayal is not a threat. It is inspection. And every time it comes, you grow stronger. Eventually, people will realize that harming you does nothing but forge you harder. And when they realize this, they will fear even the thought of crossing you. That is untouchable. That is sovereign. That is the fortress mindset. Engrave this truth. You cannot stop storms from coming, but you can build so strong that storms only prove your endurance. You cannot stop betrayal, but you can build so cold that betrayal dies at your gates. You cannot stop enemies, but you can stand so tall that enemies exhaust themselves trying to reach you, while you remain unshaken. So I ask you now, are you ready to stop being the victim of broken trust and start being the fortress that betrayal can no longer touch? If your answer is yes, then comment below. My mind is my fortress. The War of Shadows, outmaneuvering enemies and competitors. Life is not a fair contest. It is a war of shadows. You will not always win by strength, nor by honesty, nor by loyalty. You win by positioning, deception, timing, and patience. Betrayal taught you this. Not everyone fights openly. Most enemies hide behind smiles, alliances, and masks. To survive and dominate in such a world, you must become a shadow yourself, not by abandoning honor, but by mastering the silent art of outmaneuvering. A blade in the dark is sharper than a shout in the light. This is the final lesson, how to move through the battlefield of life like a ghost, feared, untouchable, and always 10 steps ahead. The first rule of shadow warfare is never reveal your full hand. People cannot strike what they cannot see. Keep your plans layered, your intentions disguised. Let others believe they understand you, while you conceal your real direction. Give them decoys, false trails, distractions. The wise strategist does not fight every battle. He makes enemies fight the wrong ones. Confuse them, and they exhaust themselves chasing illusions while you prepare your decisive move. Remember, unpredictability is not chaos. It is controlled misdirection. The second rule is divide and neutralize. Your enemies are rarely as united as they appear. Every alliance has cracks, every group has rivalries, every friendship has envy. Your task is to see those cracks and exploit them. Feed doubt subtly, let whispers circulate, and step back as they tear each other apart. Why fight one strong opponent when you can encourage them to weaken themselves from within? Machiavelli taught that a ruler must prevent enemies from uniting. The same truth applies to you. Keep your competitors scattered, suspicious of each other, never fully aligned against you. The third rule is choose your battles with cold precision. Weak men fight every provocation. Powerful men fight only when the timing guarantees advantage. If someone disrespects you publicly, calculate, is this the moment to strike? Or is silence the deeper wound? If someone betrays you, ask, will vengeance strengthen me, or will erasure hurt them more? The war of shadows is not about ego, it is about results. Strike only when the strike changes the entire field. Let your enemies underestimate you until their guard drops. Then, and only then, act with finality. The fourth rule is use allies as weapons. Not everyone must be destroyed. Many can be redirected. Sometimes the best way to defeat an enemy is not by your own hand, but by steering someone else against them. Learn to use influence to position others where you need them. Let them believe they act for themselves, while in truth, they move according to your design. This is how kings move pieces without touching the board. The shadow war is not fought with noise, it is fought with precision influence. The fifth rule is end battles completely. If you must strike, do not strike halfway. Do not leave enemies with enough strength to recover, because a wounded enemy often returns more dangerous. Whether you erase them from your life, strip them of their influence, or silence their attempts to tarnish you, end it decisively. Cold power is efficient power. It does not drag wars longer than necessary. It removes threats with ruthless clarity, then returns to calm. The last rule is become the shadow and the light. Too much fear and people revolt. Too much kindness and people exploit. But when you balance both, appearing generous while remaining dangerous, you become untouchable. Show enough humanity to gather loyalty, but keep enough coldness to ensure respect. Let them see the light when it benefits you, and let them sense the shadow when they dare test you. This duality is ultimate power, unpredictable, undeniable, and permanent. Engrave this final truth. You are no longer the broken man who was betrayed. You are the fortress that cannot be shaken, the strategist who cannot be outplayed, the shadow that cannot be caught. Those who once mocked you will now tread carefully, never sure if you are friend, foe, or something beyond their comprehension. And that uncertainty, that hesitation, is your victory. If you understand this, comment below. I am the shadow and the light. This is Seraphim. If you want more, if you want the full arsenal of Machiavellian power, then like this video, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. The weak watch in silence, the strong take action. Which one are you?
Loyalty. People talk about it like it's sacred, like it's some unbreakable bond carved in stone. But here's the brutal truth most men learn too late. Loyalty is the most beautiful illusion and the most dangerous lie. People swear they'll never betray you. They promise they'll stay with you through fire. They look you in the eye and say, "You can trust me." But understand this. Most people aren't loyal to you. They're loyal to their needs. And the moment their needs change, so does their loyalty. A Machiavellian mind understands this. Machiavelli taught that humans follow interest, not devotion. They stay close as long as you provide something they want. Power, protection, image, or opportunity. Take that away, and suddenly the same loyal person becomes cold, silent, or distant. Not because you changed, but because their benefits disappeared. This video will expose the shadows behind loyalty. The signs that someone's loyalty is not real, but strategic, temporary, or already breaking behind your back. You're going to discover the exact red flags that Machiavellian thinkers use to judge character, protect their power, and avoid silent betrayal long before it happens. Because betrayal doesn't start with a knife. It starts with a shift in behavior, a hesitation, a strange silence, a subtle change in how they look at you. And most people ignore those signs until it's too late. But after today, you won't. You're going to see through people. You'll know who stands beside you and who's waiting for the perfect moment to step away. And one more thing, never forget that loyalty is tested only under pressure, risk, and sacrifice. Anyone can pretend to be loyal when everything is easy, but fake loyalty collapses the moment life stops rewarding them. So before we begin the 7 signs, I want you to take a moment and anchor yourself in this truth. The truth that will protect you for the rest of your life.